Hello and welcome to the Athletic Brewing post-race report for Ironman 70.3 Swansea. The 12th stop in our Ironman Pro Series, and not just valuable points up for grabs for the Pro Series, also slots for the 2026 Ironman 70.3 World Championships in Nice next year. I'm Laura Siddall here with your race recap. Now let's head down to Swansea and catch up on all the action. Who would have thought it would be a non-wetsuit swim in Wales in the UK? The UK currently going through a heat wave, making that water over the wetsuit cutoff. With a large number of short course or ex-short course athletes racing, the swim was on from the start. Germany's Yannick Schaufler and Britain's Kieran Linders driving the pace. Olympian Sam Dickinson also tucked in behind. Additionally, a technical swim course in Swansea with lots of turns separated the field, and the good swimmers such as Andrew Horsfield-Turner missed out on being in that front pack. Schaufler would lead a pack of 6 men out of the water and into T1. A very long transition with the opportunity to catch up or get away. And it would be Dickinson who would make the most of this, getting out onto the Zoop bike course with an 8-second lead over now a reduced traced lead pack of Linders, Schaufler and Ollie Turner. This group had 30 seconds on the next pack, Josh Lewis, Horsfield-Turner and Freddie Webb. Horsfield-Turner didn't mess around, charging on the early kilometres of the bike. He was able to sleep in his own bed last night, living close to Swansea, so would know these roads and the course like the back of his hand. German Paul Schuster, who is currently sitting in the top 10 of the Ironman Pro Series, would find himself losing time to the front early on in the bike. Lots of changes at the front of the race as athletes pushed the pace and others bridged up to the front. Horsfield-Turner passing Linders for a turn at the front as they headed down the Welsh roads. As the men approached halfway, a leading group of 6 had come together: Turner, Schaufler, Dickinson, Linders, Lewis and Horsfield-Turner. But not too far behind and gaining was a powerhouse and dangerous group of Christian Hogenhaug, defending champion Harry Palmer and the Frenchman Leon Chevalier. With still 40 kilometres left, the Chevalier group had joined the front. Chevalier, who was 4th at the Ironman World Championships in Kona last year, hasn't had the best start to the year and is hoping this race gives him the momentum he needs to be ready for Nice in September. But no one could break away from this leading pack, although Horsfield-Turner had dropped off the pace as the Chevalier group joined and pushed hard. As the men returned to transition at the Prince of Wales dock, it would again be Sam Dickinson who would utilise his WTS speed and would be first into T2 and out onto the Hoka run course. But as defending champion, Harry Palmer wasn't having any of that and made quick work of running himself up to Dickinson. It would take another 5 kilometres of the pair running together for Palmer to finally break Dickinson and become solo at the front of the race. Palmer's training partner Chevalier was moving up into second, trying to pull back on that lead, but to no avail. As Harry Palmer, the 2024 Ironman 70.3 Swansea champion, defended his title in style to become the champion again in 2025. Chevalier had his best result of the year to finish in second, and the Brit Kieran Linders bounced back from a disappointment at Ironman Frankfurt to take third. And so to the women's race. was starting the Roker swim in the Prince of Wales dock 5 minutes after the professional men, a one-lap 1.2 mile that takes the athletes on a smaller out and back before starting a bigger loop along the walls of the dock around the edge. The swimmers in the field, or those fancying their chances for the win and the podium, would have to charge hard on the swim, hoping to put distance between them and favourite Cat Matthews. Also a few women making their pro debut, one of these being local athlete, so this her hometown race, Hannah Monday. Monday would set the pace with fellow Brit Daisy Davis, the rest of the women tussling to get on their feet. A group of 6 would break away off the front, and it would include a few other new or debuting pros, Brits Molly Saville and Jasmine Holmes, as well as Belgium's Hannah de Vet and the in-form Brit Lizzie Rayner. But it was Monday who, on her debut and in her hometown, who would be first out of the water. This group had a 2-minute 14-second lead over Cat Matthews out of the water, and it was crucial that the women made the most of the long run from swim exit to T1. Hannah de Vet would use her short course speed to make light work of T1 and get out onto the Zoot bike course, now in the lead. De Vet, along with Rayner and Davis, would push off the front as they took in some of the epic bike course through the Mumbles and hugging the Gowers coastal cliff tops. De Vet, who balances training to be a physio with exams and placements and training as a professional athlete, is coached by her partner Hayden Wild and lives between Andorra, Belgium and New Zealand. But the question was, could they hold off Cat Matthews? Or perhaps more likely, for how long could they hold Matthews off? The answer, well, that was about 40 kilometres, as the Zoot bike course took them away from the coast and through the laneways of rural Swansea. This is what we call a two-way road in rural UK. Having caught the front of the race, Matthews wouldn't hang about, riding off the front, and not surprisingly, no one was able to go with her. Another athlete moving up the field was Briton Rebecca Anderbury. Anderbury had been 14th out the water, a little over 4 minutes back off the lead, but had been steadily moving up the field and into second. Matthews had the open road ahead of her, and perhaps a few of the lagging male pros, as she returned to Swansea Centre and the Docklands and headed out to start the Hoka Run. The Hoka Run, flat and fast through the towns and out to the coastline in Swansea. Anderbury came in to T2 2 minutes 8 seconds back and would set out on the run, trying to put pressure on Cat and hold off the chasers, as the women ran along the stunning coastline of Swansea Bay. Current Ironman Pro Series leader German Anne Reichmann started the run in third, wanting to close the gap deficit to Matthews to ensure more points and to keep her ahead at the top of the rankings. The Welsh always come out for races. This and Ironman Wales always draw the crowds, even more so when you have world-class athletes racing through the streets, and British ones at that. So in her first Ironman 70.3 of the year, Cat Matthews took another win and 2,500 points for the Pro Series. Rebecca Anderbury, a career best to finish in second, and German Danielle Kleiser would run from 15th out the water, 7 minutes 39 seconds back, to third with a 1:14 run split. So recapping our top 10 in the men, Harry Palmer with the win, Leon Chevalier third, Kieran Linders in second, Sam Dickinson fourth, Christian Hogenhauch in fifth, James Teagle, Kurt MacDonald, Leonard Arnold, Josh Lewis and Paul Schuster rounding out the top 10. And our women's top 10, well, Cat Matthews took the win, a new course record as well. 2,500 points for her. Rebecca Anderbury in second. Danielle Kleiser with a run course record in third. Anne Reichmann in fourth. Lizzie Rayner in fifth. Hannah de Vet, Rhianne Hughes, Jasmine Holmes, Lydia Dant finished out the top 10. And so for our overall Pro Series rankings, quite some change in the top 10 of the men. Paul Schuster, 10th in Swansea, moves up to 2nd place, and Leon Chevalier now enters the top 10 to sit in 8th. They bump down a few of the current top 10 placed athletes. And just one change in the women's overall Pro Series ranking at the top. Kat Matthews moving back ahead of Anne Reichman. Kat on 12,380 points, just 70 points ahead of Anne Reichman, but she does have one less race counting. Jackie Herring, Danielle Lewis, Hannah Berry, Marta Sanchez, Solveig Lofseth, Alice Albert, Lottie Wilms, and Heinrich Gruber round out the top 10 of the Pro Series rankings. That was the Athletic Brewing post-race report. This weekend, we head to the Athletic Brewing Ironman Lake Placid, the last full Ironman in the Pro Series before the World Championships. I'll see you next time.